Jesus. Jesus Christ. Alex Jones told to pay $965 million in damages to the Sandy Hook victims' families, so close to $1 billion. I think that makes this one of the biggest settlements. Like, I think someone told me this, I'll need to verify. But I think that makes this one of the biggest settlements against an individual in a defamation trial in the history of mankind. One of the big, a billion fucking dollars. Now, why was it that amount? Well, we'll get into that. Conspiracy theorist Alex Jones has been ordered to pay $965 million, £869 million, in damages after falsely claiming that the 2012 Sandy Hook school shooting was a hoax. The families of 8 victims and an FBI agent who responded to the attack had sought at least $550 million in the defamation trial in Connecticut. They alleged the right-wing radio host misinformation led to a decade of harassment and death threats. 20 children and 6 adults were killed at Sandy Hook Elementary School. Jones, who founded the conspiracy-laden InfoWars website, I don't know, there's a few nuggets in there, I'm just saying, there's a few nuggets, and talk show argued for years that the massacre was a staged government plot to take guns from Americans and that no one died. He called the parents of victims crisis actors and argued that some of them never actually existed. He now acknowledges the attack was 100% real, a concession he made in August at a separate defamation trial in Texas. As the verdict was read out on Wednesday in Waterbury, Connecticut, some 20 miles from the site of the 2012 shooting, many of the families were visibly emotional, with some in tears. The 3-week trial was marked by emotional testimony from a succession of parents. Some described receiving a deluge of online hate, and others said that they had to move homes repeatedly for their own safety. A father, Mark Barden, recounted hearing that people were desecrating his son Daniel's grave by urinating on it and threatening to dig it up. Jurors also heard evidence that Jones and his company, Free Speech Systems, made millions of dollars selling nutritional supplements, survival gear, and other products on the InfoWars catalogue. Jones broadcast himself watching Wednesday's verdict and scoffing at the court proceedings. He also appealed to his followers to make urgent donations and pledged that the funds would not go towards his legal costs. The money does not go to these people, he said. It goes to fight this fraud and it goes to stabilise the company. His lawyer, Norm Pattis, told reporters that they will appeal the decision. I mean, well, yeah, definitely. Candidly, from start to finish, the fix was in this case, he said outside the court. We'll talk about that at the end. In closing arguments, plaintiff's attorney Chris Mattei says when every single one of these families were drowning in grief, Alex Jones put his foot right on top of them. Jones, for his part, had slammed the proceedings as a show trial run by a tyrant judge and argued he was not to blame for the actions of his followers, which is true. You're not to blame for the actions of other people. I've already said I'm sorry hundreds of times, and I'm done saying I'm sorry, he said in a dramatic testimony late last month that brought some of the courtroom to tears. His lawyers urged a 6-member jury to ignore political undercurrents in the case and award minimal damages. His lead defence lawyer, Mr. Pattis, also drew a stern rebuke from the judge after he accused the opposing legal team of inventing anger. This marks a moment of reckoning when it comes to harmful online conspiracies. Jones has never been handed damages of this scale before, nor has any other conspiracy theorist, and it sets a huge precedent. That was the plan. We'll get into that at the end. The question everyone is asking now, will this put an end to these kind of conspiracies and the harm they can cause? That's certainly what the Sandy Hook parents hope. Now, the problem is conspiracies mean questioning things. It means being able to actually, maybe there is an alternative truth, because a lot of conspiracy theories have ended up being true. Now, however, this is the plan. They don't want you pointing stuff like that out. Oh shit, this is most likely the case, but we don't have enough evidence. Maybe I should shout out the truth, but if I do, I'm probably going to get slapped with $1 billion in court. Again, the end. We'll get into it in the end. A former InfoWars insider tells me that he thinks this could be the beginning of the end for Jones and put a stop to him at pushing theories. But after the pandemic, there's an increasing group of people vulnerable to the tactics and rhetoric used by a conspiracy theorist like him. Jones is already attempting to claim that this verdict is just more proof that people are trying to stop him from telling the truth. It kind of is. The bereaved families who were in court can see it's far from that. No, this is definitely 100% to kill Alex Jones, to put an end to InfoWars. It's to get rid of him completely, annihilate him with so much debt, and just remove him from the spotlight entirely. That's the point of this. However, you know, the Sandy Hook stuff, the harassment of the parents, all of that stuff, yep, terrible, absolutely bad, awful stuff. A billion? No, no, no. Even people that don't like Alex Jones are going, a billion, really, a billion. $1 billion fucking dollars. Right. Yeah, this stuff is absolutely shite. Yeah, this stuff is absolutely terrible. You know, a couple million each. Yeah, I believe that would be fair recompense for that. A billion, though. Jesus. Pandora's box is wide open and it's hard to close. At the very least, this shows the tide is starting to turn. People realise the danger online disinformation can pose. Here we go, here's the real reason. And how dismissing it as fringe does nothing to stop the harm caused to the victims. Those victims are turning to the courts rather than social media sites or policymakers for justice. Really? Does that mean we can do the same thing when all you call us Nazis and white supremacists and all that stuff? You know, if it's okay for you to do. I'm just saying. The trial follows a similar case in Texas in August that saw Jones ordered to pay $49.3 million in damages to other Sandy Hook parents. The plaintiffs, who said they had endured harassment and emotional distress because of the InfoWars founders' misinformation, had sought $150 million. A lawyer in the Connecticut case said families should receive at least $550 million, saying that Jones's Sandy Hook content got an estimated 550 million views from... They want $1 per view. That's Jesus Christ, I wish that's how it worked. Fuck me. I wish that's how it worked. No, per view is like a fraction of a penny. But I mean, $1 a view. Jesus, if only. But the jury ultimately made 15 separate awards, ranging from $28 million to $120 million, totaling $965 million. It said these were to cover emotional distress as well as slander and defamation. It is possible Jones will be separately told to pay punitive damages, because basically if the company gets it, you can just dissolve the company, file it for bankruptcy, blah, 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 it's fine. They made sure it went on Jones himself, and that was the point. They wanted to drown him in debt, they wanted to silence him. However, it is unclear how much money the families will actually receive, with Jones saying on Wednesday there ain't no money. He and his company have filed for bankruptcy protection in Texas, where a forensic economist has testified that he and his company are worth around $270 million. Jones has disputed that figure. Jones and his entourage flew to Connecticut from Texas for the trial in a private jet. They stayed in a rented villa with a pool and tennis court, according to the New York Times. Well, I mean, if he's going to lose all the money anyway, he might as well get rid of it. Jones is still facing a third defamation trial over the Sandy Hook shooting that begins in Texas later this year. Okay. Now, you can turn around and say all the harassment that all the harassment that the Sandy Hook families faced is terrible, and yes, it absolutely is. Yep, that's it. Yep, having sons grave defiled and all that type of stuff. Yep, it's absolutely terrible. A lot of people out there hate Alex Jones. They don't like him. They think he's a conspiracy theorist. But here is the problem: there is a lot of things. Yep, a lot of the stuff he says is absolutely wackadoodle fucking nonsense. But there is a lot of stuff he said that ended up being true. Well, even a broken clock, yeah, but he's the only guy that's actually talking about this stuff. There is a lot of stuff that the government has done that he has managed to point out, and it turns out is true. See, pig baby human hybrids and all that stuff, and everybody fucking laughed, and then it turns out in China, that's what they were doing. They were actually doing that mad conspiracy theory. Turns out it was real. That's what they were doing in China. They were combining human DNA with pig DNA to see if they would be able to mass produce human organs for donor lists. That's something that they were actually doing. That's something they could call it the big one, the gay frogs. Turned out it was actually fucking true. They were putting stuff in the water that were making the frogs change gender and stopping them from breeding. Like, that's... And he pointed out all of this stuff. Even a fucking broken clock, yeah, but the stuff he's been right about is pretty fucking major. If they're putting that stuff in the water and that's what it's doing to frogs, imagine what it was doing to humans. Like, and the point is everybody knows that the government wants Alex Jones to shut the fuck up. They have wanted rid of him, like, for so long. They've wanted rid of him. They've tried to sue him. They've tried to blackmail him. Like, there was even that thing, and people still believe this. They found CP on Alex Jones's servers. Like, no, they didn't. Someone sent emails containing CP, which just sat in an inbox somewhere. And there's people that went, yeah, he had CP. No, he didn't. Someone sent him CP in an email. No one opened the email because that email inbox probably gets thousands of emails a day. And then people were trying to give Alex shit for it. I mean, when it was found, Alex went to the police so that they could track down whoever sent it. But still to this day, people go, oh, there was CP in his servers when there wasn't. Well, there was. It wasn't him. Someone sent an email. How could he control that? But this entire thing is designed to shut Alex Jones up. Like, see, when it comes to free speech absolutism, defamation, oh, you're okay with defamation? Shit, son, it happens to me all the fucking time, perpetually. I've never went to court over it. However, I mean, if this is disinformation, like you say, if disinformation is supposed to be, punishable by up to $1 billion, oh, Jesus Christ, Daily Record, The Sun, pretty much every single media outlet out there, oh, Lord, you are going to owe me a lot of fucking money. A lot of fucking money. I mean, 1 billion, I mean, I reckon I could get at least 100 million. I mean, I had my fucking house attacked. I had my shit fucking doxed. I had death threats. I had threatening emails because of stuff the newspapers wrote about me. Because of people going around telling everyone that I'm a Nazi, white supremacist, ultra mega Hitler. So it turns out all of you owe me money. I mean, if disinformation is supposed to be paid off by, up to $1 billion, good goddamn. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be richer than Elon fucking Musk. But regardless of what you think about Alex Jones or the situation of what he's done, $1 billion. $1 billion, really. Like, this isn't about, it's about the families getting recompense. No, it's not. People saw an opportunity to wipe out Alex Jones. They saw an opportunity. They even, notice how they did the company valuation first and then gave out the sentence. Like, they're not giving it a realistic amount. Like, see if it was like, the company's worth 270, then it should be 270. Oh, is the company not worth 270? Cool. Basically, we're going to make the settlement 3 times what his company's fucking worth. Something that he has no hope in hell of ever actually paying. Right? And because that was the point. That was the point. It's not about getting recompense for the families. It's about annihilating Alex Jones. And people used the families as a way to do it. What the families went through is absolutely atrocious. What they went through is absolutely terrible. It's absolutely horrible. Yes, I absolutely condemn all of that IRL harassment stuff. But it wasn't about the money. You're right, it wasn't. It was about wiping out Alex Jones.